What's up everyone, OJ here. Welcome back to another video. And guys, honestly, this could be Nintendo's most dominant, best-selling summer ever. I'm looking over the release lineup here, and there is one major game that people just continuously forget to talk about when it comes to June. Now, recently we talked about how July is going to destroy you guys' wallets. We've seen here in April, as of the time that I'm recording this, it's April. It's just been absolutely nuts on the Nintendo Switch. Final Fantasy games coming out, Dragon Dogma coming out pretty soon here. We've got Cuphead, Katana Zero, such a nice mix of various different games that are getting a lot of people's attention and getting Switches to be sold in stores. But guys, it's going to get even bigger from here on out, because from June and on to the summer, I don't think Nintendo's ever had a summer, or even a video game company, just in general, I don't think there's ever been a summer that's this packed when it comes to high quality games on a platform ever. Now, I know there's probably some summers that I'm not thinking about, but I just can't recall anything. I was going through and doing research for this video, and I just could not find another summer, because that's usually more of a downtime for gaming. Play all the games that came out early in the year. Maybe you pick up some of the games that were last year and have gotten discounts, but we've got big, huge games. And on the Nintendo Switch, there are multiple exclusives that are definitely going to push systems here, especially with one of them that I'm going to talk about. And I'm not going to waste any time kind of getting into that title, and that is Yokai Watch 4. People don't understand the type of impact that this franchise had in Japan. This is going to be as big as a Super Mario Maker. It could be as big in Japan, considering the style and what they're doing and kind of the promotion that's going on with this game. Yokai Watch 4 is already doing really well in the Japanese pre-orders. That game is coming out this June, and I think it's going to be a lot bigger, and you're going to see a big shift when it comes to the Media Create sales, which they don't actually give us the Media Create sales anymore, but when it comes to the Famitsu sales, we're going to see how good the Switch sells because of Yokai Watch 4. That's going to be a big one. The game looks absolutely amazing. Obviously, we do not have a Western release date yet. That's why it's kind of under people's radar in terms of talking about it, just because we all know Nintendo's probably going to publish it, but it's going to be a while before we get it. But the impact that it's going to have in June, combined with this next game, and that is Super Mario Maker, could be the most explosive start to summer that Nintendo's ever had. You have a nice 1-2 punch of huge multi-million selling franchises in June, which you normally don't see at all, like I talked about before. And in Japan, obviously Yokai Watch is going to be doing its thing, but then in the whole rest of the world, in Japan but also the rest of the world, Super Mario Maker is probably going to drop before E3 or right of the week of E3 or something like that, and that's always going to be pretty hype when it comes to talking about what's next for Nintendo and video game developers at E3. So that's going to be extremely hype, and I can see Nintendo setting records when it comes to the NPD, when it comes to the Japanese sales, and worldwide in terms of June sales, because I just haven't seen a game come out the impact of these two, with the Yokai Watch 4 and also a Super Mario Maker 2. And we talked about this before in my other video about July, but even games just like the summer in general is just nuts. You have Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, that's coming out July 19th. Absolutely crazy that we're getting this game after a decade, guys, after a decade, and they're adding in new things, the heroic camera in there, a bunch of new heroes to use. I can't wait to get into the skill tree, and the gameplay and the story looks good, trying to stop Thanos. I talked about it quite a bit on my July video, so make sure you guys check that out. But it's something that I want to keep on talking about it, because everybody always asks me on my PE lives, like, hey OJ, like, what's this Marvel Ultimate Alliance about? You have to remember 10 years ago, there was a lot of gamers that were actually kids when these games were popular, as in like little kids. If you're, 16 or 15 years old, these string of games or this franchise that it came from, the X-Men, the Apocalypse, stuff like that, you were like not born, or you were very, very young when these games were popular. So a lot of people have been asking about this, and yeah, it's going to be very good. I think that game's going to do really well. I like the release date for it of July 19th, and then also, of course, Fire Emblem 3 Houses. If you look at that from June to July and the type of games, exclusive games that Nintendo will be publishing that's going to be only on the Nintendo Switch between the games that I just talked about there, that's absolutely nuts. I don't think we've seen anything in that stretch. It's going to be about 2 months, guys, and considering on the dates, it can be within a month and some odd weeks between each other. There's going to be Yokai Watch 4, there's going to be Super Mario Maker, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, and Fire Emblem 3 Houses to round out the big titles from June to July. That's just absolutely nuts. Nintendo absolutely owns this summer, and I have not seen a string of games this dominant exclusively for a platform in such a long time. Probably maybe the PS2 era we saw that. I mean, if we're not counting stuff like the Nintendo 3DS and all of that, this is just absolutely nuts. And then it doesn't even stop right there, guys. It doesn't even stop right there. We have Astral Chain, and that kind of rounds out the exclusives that we do know about, for the summer. But look at that, guys. Yokai Watch 4, Super Mario Maker 2, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, and then Astral Chain. That is June, July, August. Between those 3 months, all of those games are going to be coming out, and those all look absolutely amazing. You guys already know what I think about Astral Chain. That game looks absolutely dope. One of the best looking new IPs I've ever seen. One of the best graphically looking games on the Nintendo Switch. The texture, the detail, the themes of the game, just how everything is. Co-op play built into there, how you're going to be able to fight with your Legion. Nintendo's been promoting it like crazy. Astral Chain is one of those games, man. I've talked about it before, but I think it's one of Nintendo's most important new IPs to get off to a good foot since like Pokemon, man. We've had new IPs, we've had stuff, and there's been other big games that are probably going to sell a lot more, like Wii Fit and stuff like that. But this game, Astral Chain, with Platinum Games and kind of what's been going down with the studio, a lot of Nintendo fans have been saying we want more Platinum Game stuff, we want more action games. This is our opportunity to check out a top tier action game. I can just tell by looking at it. I know I'm already going to be hooked on this game when it comes out at the end of August, so that's going to be extremely exciting. But you know what, there's even the third-party games that are coming out this summer as well, and one game that I want to kind of focus on a little bit, and that is God Eater 3. Now, I talked about AI the Solomonin Files on my July video, so make sure you guys check that out if you haven't already done so. But that game is looking really good. I also talked about Dragon Quest Builders 2. Once again, that game is looking really good as well. Dragon Quest Builders is a great franchise, and I think it's going to have a lot of success when it comes out this July in the West. But God Eater 3, that is one of the games that was just newly announced, not too far away from the PlayStation 4 and the PC Western release of this February. We didn't even have to port bag or anything like that, and Bandai Namco said God Eater 3 is coming to the Nintendo Switch. It's going to be ready. I think it's July 12th. I know it's July in there. That is going to be fantastic. God Eater is one of those time-sucking games that has so much content kind of packed into there, has refined gameplay mechanics. It always feels great to kind of hop into a God Eater game and play those, and that's coming to the Nintendo Switch for the first time ever. So if you look at all of this, and I'm terribly sorry to all the God Eater fans, because that was the one thing that people talked about when I discussed my July games, is like, wait a minute, what about God Eater? And I completely forgot about that, which is crazy because I was just talking about how great God Eater was. I made like multiple videos talking about how Bandai Namco is bringing over God Eater to the Nintendo Switch with that cheesy commercial that they had. But hey, cheesy but effective in my opinion. People know that it's coming, and I think it's going to be really good. But if you look at all the different games here for this summer, and maybe you guys can help me out here in the chat, definitely want to get some of you guys' thoughts on this. Have you ever seen a system for the summer? Maybe the PS2 had it, maybe 3DS had it at some point, maybe there are some stretches, but have you seen this many exclusives in addition to great third-party games come out in a stretch of 3 months? Because everything that I just mentioned here, with the exception of Yokai Watch 4, which is only in Japan, but we're going to see the results of that when it comes to sales with Japan. You know we're going to get those from Famitsu. But if you look at it in terms of the games, and of course the Switch is region free, so you can play it anywhere that you want, but have you ever seen a system get these exclusives or these type of big number of exclusives between June and August? Yokai Watch 4, Super Mario Maker 2, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, and Astral Chain. That is 5 high-quality exclusives in 3 months. And then on top of that, you have AI the Solomonin Files, God Eater 3, and Dragon Quest Builders 2. So that's 8 games in 3 months. 8 high quality games. That's not even everything. There's more that I didn't talk about when it comes to July games and other stuff. There's actually a lot more coming out, but I just wanted to kind of highlight the games that I'm actually excited about. These are all games that I'm going to be purchasing when they're available. As soon as they're available, or review codes, or whatever the case is, I'm going to be getting all these. So it's not just games that I'm just saying, oh, are coming out just because they're coming out, but it's actually games that I'm excited for, I'm interested in, and you guys are actually going to see content on the channel about when they launch. I mean, I'm going to buy Yokai Watch 4, the Japanese version of the game. I don't know what I'm going to be doing in the game, but I'm going to be going through and playing it. Hopefully it's easy enough to follow along there. I'm excited for all these games. I think that they're going to be really good. And once again, Nintendo absolutely dominates and owns this summer. I think there's going to be major records broken when it comes to sales and everything on the Nintendo Switch with these games. I think it's just going to be absolutely crazy this summer. So what do you guys think about all of this here with these games? What games are you most excited for? Do you think Nintendo owns the summer? Is this the domination of Nintendo when it comes down to it? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go to check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go to give us a like and a follow on our social media. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.